freaking man. They're just killing me here. This swinging pay-per-view, WrestleMania events and stuff like that. All right, let me get him up and going. And nope, that was wrong. Let me get and oh, what the hell, Kane? What are you doing?
Saint?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Who'd you think it was?
What are you doing? I mailed you the hiding basket.
No, you didn't.
What
is the hiding basket?
The hiding basket so you can hide from the worst possible decision the WWE is going to be making. We do not need to be around for this. It's going to be hell on earth.
Are we still talking about Sister Abigail?
No, worse.
What could
worse than that.
What could possibly be worse than cross-dressing Bray Wyatt?
A lot worse than that. It's weird already. You could see it's already in the folds. He's just whining. He's running around. He's making fake interviews. And it's going to be worse because now he's going to try to be heel.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about heel Jason Jordan?
We don't name him.
Oh, God. Look, yes, it's going to be awful. Yes, it's going to suck, but it's got to happen. This isn't working for him. And
I thought they couldn't even make it worse than that. The fact that he was his son. Now they're going to make him a whiny little bitch heel that runs around when he's got an injury. What did they do? Where they just recycle all the things that Eve Torres does and all that? Eve Marie, I mean, what's going on here?
Well, look,
they gave the gimmick that of Eve Marie not fighting to Lana. They gave him the whole, oh, my injury, I can't wrestle now, to Jason Jordan. What's next?
I don't know, but dude, we've got like 3 pay-per-views to go through, man. We have got no time for this. We got to get going, bruh.
You're right.
You got to muscle through.
We have TLC. We have Wargames. Oh, I feel better now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Survivor Series. That last match. I want to hide again.
Hey, come on. We got to do the intro. We got to get going, bruh. There's too much stuff for us to cover.
Braun! All right, folks, here we go. We're going to bring this back to the game. Welcome back. I got my boy over there coming in saying, this is man, Kane Super. What? Snooker, and this is Off the Ropes. Welcome to Off the Ropes. This is me, my boy over here, Kane Super. What? Snooker. I got my man over there from Knowledge, Common the Faded Saint. Welcome to episode 32 of Off the Ropes, man. Whoo, boy. And you know why it's significant? Because I think this is going to be the last episode where we have too many pay-per-views happening in one given shot. And I think it's very realistic that we're only going to get... I don't know, maybe they got the emails from all the dead babies and children that of the souls of the condemned over here in the parts unknown. But we have been begging them to slow the roll of these pay-per-views because there's just too many going on. Not enough good gimmicks, not good story builds going on. It's just match after match after match. And now it looks like they're listening. One pay-per-view per show per month. And then you got the big packs that come out through every 4, the major 4 and everything like that. And of course, NXT is still doing its due. But either way, we're still good. So episode 32, I'm marking it, stamping it down. Last one where we have too many pay-per-views, especially this one. We have 3. We have TLC, we have War Games, and we have Survivor Series. My God, Maggle. But I know we're going to go through it. But before we do that, how you doing over there, Kami?
I'm doing great, man. Let me tell you, nothing has made me happier than the WWE realizing that they have been wasting their money with all of these freaking pay-per-views. Oh my God, thank God they're slowing down.
And especially when a lot of people don't know is that a lot of times they bring these people down from the rafters to fill the seats in the area where the hard camera is going to be, because there are some empty pockets in these pay-per-views sometimes. It's not even funny.
Well, speaking of pay-per-views, in news of the Kami Goes to Raw, guess who's got tickets to WrestleMania?
Happy Snuka?
No, me. I've got tickets.
Yay! So jealous of you, of course. But
well, you can thank Mama Mawaru, who got me and my brother tickets for our respective birthdays a couple months ago, and also my sister and her fiance, and then a couple of her friends. So we're going with a big, large group to WrestleMania, but we've got actually pretty decent seats. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Please go as WWE cosplay. Be that family that wears the Macho Man 87 and Hulk Hogan outfit in the front row every day.
Oh, we're nowhere near the front row. We didn't have that kind of a budget, bro.
Oh my God! I wonder how much are front rows at WrestleMania? It has to be in
it's somewhere between
4 digits.
It's in the $5,000 range, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. Mid.
It might be $5,000 scalped, and it might be less. It might be less, like if you actually like bought them straight out, but it's not cheap.
No, it is not. That is. I think I spent that much on furniture recently, and I'm regretting it when it comes to that kind of expense. I can't see someone doing that for a one-night event like that.
Well, you do get to take home your ringside seat.
That's cool. And I have to assume that price also comes with all those events that happened also, like the Hall of Fame and the All Access and all that kind of stuff.
Access is free. Hall of Fame is a separate thing. I'm trying to see if I can get tickets to NXT. I'm also trying to see if I can get tickets to Raw and SmackDown. So if this all works out the way I want it to, my weekend will be NXT on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, Raw on Monday, and then SmackDown on Tuesday, and then I die on Wednesday, because that's the way. That's it. I've peaked. There's nothing else I can do.
You are the OG wrestling Solomon Grundy right there.
It's over for me at that point. But we need to get on the ball, man.
Yes, we are way at this
shit ton, and of course,
say TLC happened and just move on.
We can't. But TLC, dear God, was this like the cursed pay-per-view? Like, did Vince dig up Papa Shango or something like that? I have no idea what happened. But
maybe Mr. Fuji threw salt in everyone's eye. I have no idea.
Dude, did no one tell you? Mr. Fuji's dead, man. He's been gone for a while.
What?
Like years, man.
No wonder I'm getting those weird letters from the dead children.
You know, normally I would chase that down, but we've got a lot. So, long story short, with TLC, viral infections went down, and a lot of people were not cleared to wrestle. Roman Reigns had the mumps. Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, and JoJo had like viral meningitis or something like that. There were a few other people who they thought were going to be bad like that.
When the news broke out, I could have sworn that they were just having some wicked threesome or something going on in the back with all these people, and they got it all at the same time. But it's just an occurrence that could happen.
But let's be honest, TLC was shaping up to be the crappiest pay-per-view of the year.
Yep.
And then a lot of stuff came in here and saved it.
Save through.
But not this first match, which of course was the boss, Sasha Banks versus Alicia Crazy Like a Fox.
You know, I don't even remember this match. That's how inconsiderate it, just in general, it wasn't really an overall good match. And damn it, you're using your beard now? Beard privilege is privilege, sir.
I have to. It was so bland. Like, it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't good. It was It was soft white bread. That's what it was. If wrestling match was bakery items, this would be just normalized, unhomogenized white bread.
Soft rice to feed to the others.
I mean, I guess this kind of also went into, the other part which went into Survivor Series, which we'll get to in.
Well, here's the crazy part. I mean, who thought Alicia was going to win? That's the big question.
Nobody, and she didn't win this match. Sasha won this match, by the way, but going into the next night on Raw, Alicia won a match between Sasha and Bayley, and somehow, someway, ended up the captain of Team Raw.
And got a little bit of a boost for that for Survivor Series too, which we'll get into much later about this. But in this case, that match
she ran away. But then she ran away from Absolution a couple weeks ago.
Who cares? But we're gonna go. That's future sight. We're on TLC right now. We don't know any of this stuff. We don't know about a certain femme fatale coming to Raw. But as far as it goes, Sasha did defeat Alicia Fox for the victory. It was a very mundane match. Pretty much, you could also call the spots that are about to happen, especially at the very end. But in this case, it did come up to a interesting match because this was the first appearance match for the night, and that was Asuka versus Emma. And who'd have thought this would have been like her last match?
We gotta pour one out for our homie. Emma, they didn't deserve you, honey. They did not.
Damn right.
You are awesome, and they never gave you a chance, and you deserved better than to be a cost-cutting measure. You really did.
This was a first appearance and last appearance match, wasn't this?
No. I mean,
or she showed up one more time.
She wrestled on Raw the next night.
Okay, never mind.
And then she was future endeavored. She was future endeavored on Tuesday.
And you know what makes no sense to me? Because Emma is one of the stronger wrestling archetypes, and I feel like they would have been so much better for her in general when it comes to a lot of her matches that she's been doing across the board. And if you remember, she had this match already in NXT when Asuka was first running around and saying that she was undefeated, and they're like, "You can't do nothing." And this was when she had their lackey with her at the time. They made that match sound critical. Yeah, Dana Brooke. They made that match so critical that I can't. If a match happens again on Raw or SmackDown or any Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view, I know for a fact it's not going to come close to the power of the NXT match that they had. You could clearly tell the writing's on the wall on who's better at making these matches up.
But what made this match weird was if Emma's on her way out and she knows it and they know it, then why not have Asuka just stomp right through her? This was actually somewhat competitive.
Yeah, this definitely. I mean, like I said, Emma's a strong wrestler. She's very, very little do I notice she botches. She's very confident in what she does in the ring. Maybe they didn't know that they were going to send her away, and this was a last-ditch decision, so that way, what's her name can get her rent money all squared away. Because we all know that conveniently, Nia Jax also protested her wrestling appearance until she renegotiated her contract. And that happened just conveniently after the release of Emma. So, I know that people have been putting two together. I know that there's some rumors that that's not true, or that there's evidence that's not true. I'm going to believe it because let's face it, Emma did a great match. And if WWE is known for anything, they're known to squash people as a goodbye. Because look what they did to Brand News Barrett, Wade Barrett. Look what they did to him.
He wanted to go by the end there, and
yeah, but look at his last match. It was panda trash.
It was. It absolutely was. But I mean, it was what it was. I mean, Asuka won. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised.
No, and I'm not surprised if Asuka is the forever undefeated. They're gonna Goldberg her in a way that it's going to be like someone's going to have to do something astronomically destructive to pin her for 1, 2, 3, or they're going to have to John Cena and have her collapse and not tap out from a finisher.
Well, for those of you paying attention, keep in mind what we're just saying here because it's going to come into play when we start talking about Survivor Series. However, that brought us to the next match, which was Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, who is the worst. He is just the worst ever. I hate him so much. Versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick.
Is it the gimmick you don't like?
No, I just don't like him.
He has an amazing standing 450 splash. I don't know what.
Maybe he does, but he is the worst. He is.
Ugh.
He is.
I think you just can't handle him. You can't handle him. You can't.
No, and that's a part. That's a part of it. I can handle it, but the fact he's got creepy teeth, he's got stupid dance moves, and maybe he's a great wrestler, but basically he's just like Evan Courageous.
Oh my God! I mean, this is where we're going to disagree because I think Rich Swann is awesome, but that match was not awesome though.
Yeah,
that match was not.
It could have been so much, but it's just yet again, it's them watering down the freaking cruiserweights, and the 205 Live is a joke, and this was their spot. They didn't get pre-showed because Sasha and Foxy got pre-showed.
Well, they can't pre-show the cruiserweights all the time.
I mean, they can. And actually, now that I'm looking at it on this show, the cruiserweights got 2 matches in prime time. How bad off was this show that the cruiserweights got 2 matches on the main show? Wow.
Well, the only one that everyone cared about was the next one when it comes to the cruiserweights. So that's all.
Well, the next one is, and by the way, Alexander and Swan won. I think it was the detonation kick. I hope it was the detonation kick. I hope Rich Swann didn't pin anyone. Rich Swann doesn't deserve to pin anyone. He's the worst.
The next match actually is, I consider, the Heart and Gold match. Because this meant a lot to a lot of people, especially what's going on. That was Alexa versus Mickey.
God, was this not the weirdest fucking setup for a match ever? It's like, oh no, Mickey's almost 40.
No, they've done this to her before, where they used some sort of physical or conditional situation. I mean, look at the Piggy James act they tried to do way back in the game.
And that was goddamn awful, and the WWE would respectfully like you to forget that they were awful to Mickey back then by being awful to her in a completely different way now.
Yeah. You're old, so I'm going to do old things and make you walk out with a walker and all that. But you know what? I have to say, though, even though Mickey did lose this match, spoiler alert, Mickey did lose this match, the whole match was just full of heart. It felt like I was watching Rocky. The match was great. There was great back and forth. It wasn't one-sided. It didn't make it look cheese play with Alexa, doing anything cheaty-wise or anything like that. This match was full-on bring it. And it brings credit to Alexa, too, because Alexa originally wanted to be a chicken shit heel champion. And she did. She's actually being very competitive. The heels are starting to become competitive.
Didn't she beat her with a right hook?
Yeah.
The weapon of mass destruction does not work as for the Big Show, and it does not work for Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss is 4 feet.
What's wrong? What's wrong with Twisted Bliss, or as it was really called back in the day, Sparkle Splash?
Yeah, or the other one was
is her kickstart DDT thing that she does. That's her other finisher.
Yeah, but didn't she have a move that sounds like because she does it twice? I forgot what it was called.
Oh, I don't know what they call it, but it's where she does the knee thing and then she does a backflip and does the knees again.
Yeah, it's definitely a move that actually, and as you know, folks, we don't like to try to Google anything during our time doing this.
I don't know if they've named it. If they did, called it and say anything about it. But
yeah, it definitely is. It's something like. It's like something repeat. Oh, God, it's going to kill me the whole night. I had it, but it's all right.
But, I mean, in the end, of course, Alexa was going to win because you need somebody credible for Asuka to beat down the line.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was, otherwise, it was, like I said, a heart of gold. And, of course, they cheesed it up even more with Mickey getting a little interview right then and there, talking about how he fought for a kid and stuff like that. And it definitely showed some good heart and appeal. So it was definitely a good match, I think, for a women's division match going on, especially after the whole Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks match. So it's definitely good to see that come through. And it definitely set up for a strong send-off going forward, because there wasn't that many bad matches going forward, personally.
Nope. Except for this one, which is, of course, the Cruiserweight Champion, Rey Mysterio Jr. versus the realist, well, I can't really call him a jobber anymore, but the cancer that is Enzo Amore. And for reasons that are beyond me, Enzo won this match, and everyone predicted he was going to win the match. But Enzo won for whatever reason. It was... Let's be honest here. It wasn't that great. It was par for the course at best. And I don't even know what to say. I'm already drinking a beer.
Well, I think that the feud between him and Kalisto is obviously grew better and better after this. But
the Cruiserweight division isn't the same without Neville.
I don't know, man. He's moving onward, I think, personally.
No, good for him. Good for him. But, again, the Cruiserweight division is just... They're not setting him up. Neville carried that division for a freaking year and a half. Like, I don't see Enzo doing that, at least not in the current form, and I can't see Kalisto carrying it. The guy can barely do a promo.
Well, it's like a lot of the good wrestlers, like Neville got to. I feel like it's cruiserweight hell. If you're in cruiserweight division, you're not going up. And that was the thing that killed. Didn't that kill WCW? Didn't they kill that? Where if you're
because everyone left.
Stays with the cruiserweights, the heavyweights stay with the heavyweights. No mixture, no misplay,
no upward movement for the lower mid card. And if you're on and that's why Neville left. If you're on 205 Live, you're in the fucking graveyard.
Yeah. So but I don't think this match warrants the same attitude that you're giving it, because let's face it, Enzo. I know you don't like him. You never liked him. You never will. I get that, and it's almost sounds like you got a premonition of hatred for the 205 Live general. But I still think
I do for the way they write it. The Cruiserweight Championship was one of the best things that they've put on in the last 3 years, and then they ruined it by making it Raw light.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with it. That's my problem with it.
They definitely hooked you, because 205 the CWC was fantastic.
And they've slowly but surely made sure that nobody cares.
Yep.
Anymore. Moving on, though, that brought us to the next match. Now, the next match was originally billed as Finn Balor, the Demon, versus Sister Abigail, which was Bray Wyatt cross-dressing. And then, as we alluded to at the beginning, viral infections happened, and we got instead the
match of the night.
The match of the night, but the best match that we never knew we wanted, and that was, of course, the Demon Finn Balor versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Or what I like to call first Bullet Club leader versus former Bullet Club leader.
Yeah, did you see where Carl Anderson, like right after the pay-per-view, was like, "Oh, thanks for inviting us, guys."
Yeah.
Too sweet, me, bro.
I don't want to talk about them. They are so underutilized right now.
It's a shame, but, it's whatever. But, I mean, let's face it. Let's be honest here. This was the match of the night. I mean, once they announced this match, this pay-per-view got 100 times better. It was like, all right, screw the rest of the matches. I'll tune in just for AJ and Finn. And it was everything. They delivered on all fronts. The offense.
I'm just gonna make an announcement right now. AJ Styles makes everybody look like $1 million, no matter who he is. Even Jinder Mahal looked like $1 million compared to him. It's just how AJ is. AJ should be forever the golden child of wrestling in general. Just putting it out there.
He has that style of selling, which he can make the simplest move look like it just killed him. Like, he's the only guy who I know who still sells a drop kick, like he just got point blank shot with a shotgun.
Yeah,
he's developed that really sympathetic type look, where like he gets hit and then he just like collapses and he's like, oh damn, that actually looked like it might have hurt a little bit. Be okay, AJ, please. But in the end, the Phenomenal One could not overcome the Demon. And Raw's own Finn Balor over AJ Styles. Which brings us to the other match that was messed up. Now, this match was a hot mess to begin with. It originally started off as The Shield versus The Miz, The Bar, Braun Strowman, and for reasons that are beyond our comprehension, Kane. And then Roman got sick, and it became Kurt freaking Angle. And again, Kurt Angle came in, and immediately it's like, well, now I have to watch. It is what?
I just had the brain moment. The Dylanese for Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Insult to injury. That's what it's called.
Cute.
Yeah.
We get it, Alexa. We get it.
Sorry, folks. I told you it was going to burn my brain. But back to the phenomenal.
I mean, it's just one of those things where this match, the Shield, with Kurt Angle in Shield attire, I should point out, looking like your dad going with you to a concert. Man, did this match drag in the middle or what?
Well, it had so much potential, and they had to do something, because obviously they're not going to cancel this match, or this would officially just cancel the show then, because they can't. They could fix Bray Wyatt's match with a simple add-on, but it's so hard to build this Shield versus these guys without the whole Shield there, and there's like a big hype. So they had to do something, and Kurt Angle is not fully ready, and that's the problem.
No, and we found that out again at Survivor Series, but we'll get to that in a bit.
It sounds like,
but this was also just God. It was like at first it was the Shield versus the Miz and the Miztourage, and it's like, and then it was the Miz and the Bar. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this, all right. And then it was the Miz and the Bar and Braun Strowman, and it's like, okay.
All right, we're having some problems now.
Okay, I can still do this. It's the Shield, so cohesive unit. And then when Kane came in, it's like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, I don't know.
This match was a perfect example of them trying too hard to do too much. And, the story of the match was, it was 5-on-3. And there were long lulls of just the five of them beating up. And then they did the Kane and Braun stuff. And then they threw Braun into a trash compactor. And then the Shield rallied. And then Kurt Angle came back from the back. And Dirty Deeds, the King's Landing, Angle Slam, double triple power bomb, and Angle and the Shield, because of course they had to at that point, won. And
I think that obviously something's set up with Braun Strowman. It's either Kane, or I don't know if after what happened recently.
Well, they're building to Kane and Braun, but this match was like freaking. I think it clocked in at 35 minutes, and it was 15, 20 minutes too long. Like, they could have cut this match by half, and they could have cut down a lot of the middle stuff. It was bad at the end there, and I mean, you know what I say about this. I mean,
well, there was a lot of entertainment going on.
There was a lot of entertainment, but then it got kind of drug, and it got like tedious. Like, oh man, come on! And it wasn't like back at Hell in a Cell with the Shane and stuff. It was like, okay, guys, this is you've been beating up on Dean and Seth for a solid 7 minutes with no offense on their part. This is getting boring. Let's get to it. Let's wrap it up. But they prevail over Miz. And that brings us to the end of the pay-per-view.
Oh, thank God.
Letter grade?
I feel like I gotta give this a B- just for the fact that they save throwed the hell out of all that sick people. Like, I mean,
I'll give it a C+. That last match just really hurt it that badly. But I mean, we're right there. We're right next to each other in grades. We're more there. You know me. I'm the more pessimistic of the both of us.
True.
But I hate to break it to you, but we're not done yet.
Nope.
Because that was a month ago. A couple of weeks ago, there was NXT Takeover Wargames.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
And wow. The first half of this was, the second half of this show was pretty damn awesome.
I don't know, man. It turned up to 11 the entire time. I mean, I'll talk for days about all the matches, but specifically, I loved Velveteen Dream's match. I thought it was one of the best matches there. It showed so much character development. It was just so good. And we'll definitely go through it as we go through the list. But I was all the way to 11 the entire time watching Wargames.
Well, and we will go ahead and we will start off with Lars Sullivan versus the former Chris Hero and now basketball gear enthusiast Cassius Ohno. And
Cassius Ohno also sounds like a basketball player.
It does a little bit. And, you know, because we don't watch NXT on the regular. Or at least I don't. Do you now? Because I know you were giving it up.
I was steamrolling into it going into Wargames, but I don't watch it enough anymore, only because it's just so much content going on. I didn't even know Starrcade happened. That's how much content's going on.
Spoiler alert, we're not covering Starrcade. Not worth it.
With that house show, apparently.
But, I mean, this match went about how you expect it would. Like, it was a springboard for Lars, and I guess Ohno has enough crowd cred that he can absorb the loss.
Yeah, it was meant for big guy heat.
He has a lot of like elbows and kicking offense, like not a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, it was one of the first of the many upset matches that happened this night, but it definitely was a good match in general. They pulled off their moves quite well, and you know, at some point you weren't sure if Ohno was going to lose or not. It was one of those things that it came up at the very end.
I never thought he was going to win, not for a second. Not the way they've been building him.
Okay.
Nope. I really didn't.
I thought that was. I didn't think that way. Also about the heavyweight match too. So, you know, that's a horse of a different color. But that brings us into Sullivan over Ohno, and that brings us into one of the more interesting matches of the night. Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream. And dear God, this was just a weird one. I mean, it was entertaining as hell. But yes, it was. I loved it. It just
I'm not saying it's weird bad, but it was a weird ass match, man.
Well, let's first of all, let's give recognition to Patrick. He's the dude from Tough Enough who didn't even win Tough Enough and came all the way to the point where you actually had a pay-per-view match as this, let's just face it, a 50-50. Either he's going to be as iconic as The Undertaker or as bottom of the barrel scraping through life like Goldust. That is the Velveteen Dream right now.
I don't know. I see Velveteen Dream as Tyler Breeze 2.0.
Nope. Tyler Breeze was...
Oh, he's gonna be in the Fashion Police. You better believe he's gonna be showing up.
Oh, please don't do this to me already.
You said the same thing about Tyler. You said the same thing about Tyler, and guess who was right?
Tyler. I didn't say Tyler Breeze was gonna be the next it guy.
No, but you did. But you were high on him, and I kept saying, and
I wasn't high on him. I liked him a lot, but I didn't expect much from him. Let's just say, let's hope that the Velveteen Dream doesn't piss off Vince McMahon one night and get stuck in this Fashion Police crap.
Let's just hope that Vince McMahon gets him, because that's the problem. When Vince doesn't get you, you're done.
He got Goldust.
Yeah, but I mean, Goldust is just enhancement talent at this point. He's a veteran trying to.
Yes, but back in the day, man, he had a whole shtick going.
He did, but this match had it all. It had some hard-hitting action. There were some weird spots. It was a lot of "say my name, Aleister, say my name." But it was a good, like, what was it? It was like 35 minutes or something like that. They went, and they could go, bro. Let me tell you.
They delivered. They definitely delivered.
And once again, NXT showing why the 2-hour 5-match format works, because everyone has time to get their shit in. Everyone has time to do their thing. And this was an amazing match. I mean, I came into this match, like, looking at the freaking stuff, and I was like, oh my God, what is this all about? And then, they wowed me. They won me over. Like I said, it's a weird match, but it was a highly entertaining and highly competitive match.
It definitely springboarded a very good match coming afterwards. So Velveteen Dream did, unfortunately, not.
He lost. But he won in a way.
People's champion that night.
No, he won in a way because Alistair did say his name. And this is something else that cannot be understated. These two managed to craft a story.
Yes.
Based on one simple thing, that Alistair Black would not acknowledge Velveteen Dream. And in the end, that felt almost as important as any title match.
Damn right. It was definitely the best. It was definitely, like I said, it was a heart of gold match.
And everyone won in that match. Yeah. Even though Velveteen Dream lost, he won.
And it left you with a pretty good high because the next match, let's say, folks, was pretty interesting, and that was for the vacant women's title. And you had Ember Moon, you had a stunning cast, you had, oh my god,
Kairi Sane.
Well, I didn't want to talk about her, but okay,
hey, we have to. She's in the match.
Listen, Angel Hulk Hogan can do what she wants. I knew she wasn't going to win, but I had my dog in the fight for Ember Moon, and I had my dog in the fight for the partner from Sanity.
Peyton Royce?
No, that's not from Sanity.
Oh, Nikki Cross. My girl.
I'm sorry. My bad. Nikki Cross, yes. But let's face it, those were my two dogs in the fights in that entire match, and it was a really good four-way. It always...
Nikki, you deserve better than what they're giving you here.
No,
you do. You deserve better than what for some reason they keep thinking it's okay to pin you and stuff like that. And you deserve better. You deserve better. You're my girl. I'm gonna rep for you.
She did prove herself in the very first last man standing match for the.
Oh no! Like she had. But again, like this goes back to my argument with the last NXT thing we covered. What was the problem that we had with Asuka? Was that she buried the entire division twice, including Nikki Cross 3 times, and then she left the title vacant, and that does nobody any favors. And Kerry wasn't going to win just based on they weren't going to go from one dominant Asian champion to another. I would have liked if anyone was going to win it, and Nikki, they've shown that, she's shown that she's a team player and she's willing to enhance other people, so she wasn't going to win based on that, even though it makes more sense in the long run if Sanity starts collecting the gold since they have the tag team titles. So really your only actual people who would have won would have been Peyton, who's been there forever, and Ember Moon, who should have won it back at the last Takeover. And yes, it was a fun match. It was a very interesting way that they did everything, and for the most part, I was happy with the match right up until the end. My thing is that if they could have just pinned anyone else besides Nikki, I would have been happy.
I still think it was a good match, though.
It was a good match. I'm not saying it's not a good match. I mean, there was a lot of.
You definitely didn't feel like people were sleeping in a corner somewhere. There
was a lot of close falls. But in the end, there could have only been one winner because they've been setting it up for the last 8 months. And that was, of course, your girl, Ember Moon. And Asuka was even in attendance, which just served to tick me off even more. Because when they came to present her with the belt, Asuka came in and it's like, let me put the belt around her. It's like, oh, now you want to give her the belt. Now you want to give her the belt when you don't have to pin.
She looked really good in that dress.
She did. She absolutely did.
But also,
she should have done the job. She should have done the job. She should have done the job to Ember.
Did you catch her trying to raise her hand and she went forward and Asuka's like, okay, never mind. I will do it. But it is going on to be the next undefeated women's division for Raw, so it doesn't matter.
Well, nope. Enjoy it while you can, because you know the rule. You know the rule of face champions. One pay-per-view, and that's all you get. Next pay-per-view, she's dropping it to a heel.
Oh, face champions. Yes, you're right. Like even what's coming up? Yeah, it's crazy.
Spoilers. But anyway, let's get to that match, which was, of course, Drew McIntyre versus LARP enthusiast Cien Adonde Dreas, whatever. Adonde Almas, Cien, with the fine lady Ciampa.
Okay, I want to say right now, though, despite the outcome,
It was a good match.
Ever since he got that manager on our side, he has been popping hard in NXT.
He has been. The lady Ciampa has done well for him.
Yes.
For those of you who don't get the joke, listen to the last podcast we did with a takeover involved. It's explained very thoroughly there.
This is true. This is very true. I thought you were going to give me some news that she got married to Tommaso Ciampa.
No, she's Tommaso Ciampa and Jag.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's explained last takeover podcast. We've got too much. I can't go back and explain the joke. We just
moving on.
We got to go forward. So Drew got his ass hurt in this match towards the end,
and he also lost.
He did. Very surprisingly.
Goddamn theory about face champions get only their 1 month reign and they pass it on to a heel.
Face champions win and then they lose it on the next event. That's the way it works. Sorry.
Unreal how that is the case here in that situation. Unreal.
I mean, who was the last heel champion who held up more than one win? Finn Balor.
Yes. Eddie was a... yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So think of how long it's been since Finn Balor has been in NXT. Almost 2 years. Uh-huh.
Yep, you're right.
So a face champion has not held a championship for more than... I don't know. That depends. Where do you fall on Sanity? Is Sanity face? Is Sanity heel?
No, Sanity is the anti-hero. Then again, they technically were heels. It's just there's so much going on now.
But this doesn't count because the title was not up for grabs tonight. And we'll get to that in a second. So it doesn't count. You do not get a pass by simply not putting your title on the belt. That being said, this match went on all cylinders, and Drew looked good, and Cien looked really good.
Do you think this was a pre-injury decision? Like this was happening, and that they.
It had to have been because even if he had been injured, he would have still won the match, and then they would have vacated it or something.
Okay, that makes sense. But then again, no. I guess they got a lot of feedback from Asuka being undefeated.
Well, let me tell you, if you're looking for the most progressive brand in wrestling right now, NXT is your brand. Because as somebody pointed out to me, the last 4 people to hold the women's championship were all women of color.
Yeah.
Ember Moon, Asuka, Bayley is predominantly Latin, as well as Sasha Banks. Big ups to you. I mean, they are, and as Claudius.
Yeah, but if you're gonna play that card, look at the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion for a while now.
That's why I said NXT is your brand if you like diversity. I can't make excuses for them. But as somebody else was pointing out, I mean, the WWE has been desperate to find somebody who can connect to the Latin market. And it really kind of looks like that Cien might be their guy, because let's be honest here for a second. Rey Mysterio Jr. is never coming back. He's not. It's not going to be a thing that happens. He has no interest. He's going to finish out his... we could dream. He might come back for like a 1 or 2 off, but that ship has sailed. He's near his 40s. He's getting to the end of his career. That's just going to be the way that goes.
It didn't help that it was like first time out of the gate coming from WWE. He was in a match that involved someone dying. So that didn't help either.
No,
he's like, this is bad omen. Let me just get my going and just go.
I mean, he's still wrestling, but I mean, it's coming to an end, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? You know what? Never say never, because they said the same thing about Kurt Angle.
He's nearly 40, and Kurt Angle can be technical. Rey Mysterio has to be fast, and just isn't anymore. He's got two fake knees. So,
but I have to say though, Cien Almas also, when it comes to him and Cien Almas in general, he was supposed to come in as a fast-paced, good collected wrestler. That's why he came in face.
His gimmick was he wore a fedora.
Yeah. Well, even so, he was great in matches. That whole thing he does in the mid ropes coming back, it was just great artwork to see him. It's just that he was missing that Paul Heyman experience, and he got that with that female Paul Heyman. Because let's face it, she is kind of like a female Paul Heyman. She is good on the match. She's good at talking on the mic. She's really good on the side.
She can pull off some moves too.
She can. Her interference is a hurricanrana. Her interference, not the distract the ref. I'm
gonna slap you. No, I'm gonna do a hurricanrana. I like that thing. I like that thing where she tried to do the hurricanrana to Drew, and Drew just she gets halfway through it, and then Drew's like, nope.
He noped her.
Get back up there and stop.
Yes, it's either way. It was still a fantastic process. And he just needed that extra push with that. So I could see this being a strong moment for him to be a good champion as a heel with this manager working this whole process until either Drew McIntyre gets better or they prove someone else to take over the title afterwards.
Well, surprise to us all, Cien, your new NXT Heavyweight Champion. Which brings us to the match of the night, the one we have been waiting for 20 years, the match that everyone have been demanding for years to come back. War Games. Now, as Kane will tell you, the rules are different than what they presented here, but I can look past that. Now, first, your competitors were representing Sanity, Eric Young, Desmond Wolfe, and Killian Dane. Representing the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, O'Reilly, whatever his first name is, doesn't matter. He looks like he's a serial killer. And Adam Cole, baby. And the AOP with Roderick Strong. Now, the rules of War Games usually are as thus. There are 2 teams of 4. 2 wrestlers start off, there's a coin flip, and then at the 2-minute mark, somebody comes in. Every 2 minutes after that, alternating teams comes in until everyone is in, and then after that, it's submission or surrender, which nobody has ever understood what that whole submission or surrender dumb thing is. It's just a cute tagline, because everyone always submits. What is surrender? What is surrender? This time, I guess, but this time, the rules were a little different. So it was 1 representative from each team starts off. The other 2 are locked in a cage. Every 3 minutes, one of the cages opens to let the other team members in. And then nobody can win until everyone is in. And then once everyone is in, first pinfall or submission gets the win. If any member leaves the cage, you disqualify your entire team. So, interestingly enough, we started off with the 3 men with the most history. That is Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and Eric Young. I'm a big Eric Young fan. And as those of you who may not have remembered, when Eric Young and Roderick Strong first came in, they were trying to get Roderick Strong into Sanity.
Yes.
When the Undisputed Era came in, they were trying to get Roderick Strong into the Undisputed Era.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to recruit Roderick Strong.
Meanwhile, he bats an eye to AOP.
Dude, they were at the WrestleMania pre-sale party I was at, AOP? And yeah, they wrestled they wrestled the Street Profits, and I didn't know part of their gimmick was they don't speak English.
That is interesting.
Because they kept yelling in Samoan, I want to say. Anyway, we're getting off track here. But Jesus God, this match. Of course, the Undisputed Era were the first ones to get out of the cage, and they came in, and it was just a field day on Strong and Young. After that, the AOP came in and leveled it, and they were just killing everyone around.
Yes.
And then
and it's still to this very moment, ever since they came out, I've always been a fan of AOP and how effective they are as big guys. They have proven their worth in every tag team match they've had.
They've gotten a whole lot better since they debuted. So
yeah, I mean, they were a tad bit green, I'll give you that. But ever since that best of 3 match between them and DIY, it has been nothing but blue skies whenever their matches are involved.
But let's be honest here. There was only 2 real MVPs of this match. And that was the group that came out, that went in last. That is Killian Dane and Desmond Wolfe.
Yes.
First of all, Desmond Wolfe bled like a stuck pig for these people. He just turned up the crazy factor, and he was like everyone, making everyone look good. And Killian fucking Dane pulling out his best Shane O'Mac, going coast to coast.
Big guy, by the way.
Dude's like 400 pounds, and he went coast to coast.
Yep. Now, let me ask you though: was it still 20 by 20 ring double, or was it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They were regular. They were regulation sized rings.
There was WWE regulation rings. They're not.
There was a lot of really great spots here.
Spots all the way through. The double table
from Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Or Roderick Strong suplexing Adam Cole into everyone from the top of the cage. And really,
even better is when they were trying to do the double superplex to 2 wrestlers in the same corners, and AOP comes out and underneath them and
power bombs everyone.
While they would do the superplex on the guy that they did the double superplex on. They had spots on like that. It was just like watching fireworks every 5 seconds. And of course, Killian bringing all the weapons in before he enters the cage, avoided the rule of surrendering by leaving.
I loved the freaking part where when Desmond
tables.
Well, when Desmond walks in and like the AOP is sitting there, it's like, what are you gonna do? And then he just pulls out that Tampa and just goes click, and I'm like, oh shit!
Yes,
they just went
right?
and he just went. I was like, oh, it's on now, and we want tables, and Killian's like, okay,
yeah, right,
sure, why not?
We want tables, and he's like, and he puts his hands up. All right,
like, oh well,
and he goes,
you got to give the people what you want.
And he not one, but he admits 2. He's got 2 tables that he went when he brought in. Oh my god, and it was just all genius. And you know who the real other MVP undercard was? That cameraman that had to sit between the 2 rings the entire match.
I would not have wanted to be in there.
He got hit twice.
But in the end, there was only one way this match could end, and that was with Adam Cole pinning Eric Young, your winners of Wargames, the Undisputed Era. Thus brings the Wargames to a close. And for that matter, brings us a third of the way through our podcast. And this is an A for me.
Oh, this is a solid A. Solid A. Oh,
solid
man.
A. Oh, this is the best pay-per-view out of the 3.
There was not one match that I felt I was like, okay, when is it over? Not one. All of them were entertaining. The last match, of course, big send-off. And I know that's one of your big things. The match of the night has to be a big send-off.
And it was.
Definitely delivered. Definitely.
I've watched it again, and I will probably put it on to watch again as I'm editing this tonight. Editing Chris, by the way. Editing Kami. Put the match on while you're chopping everything together tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
But that brings us mercifully to the end of the first 3 quarters, the 2/3 of the show. And we're going to go to break. We're going to give you guys a break and some music, and then we will be back to talk about the series of Survival. So we will see you after the break.
The other side, folks.
On behalf of myself and Kane Super What Snooka, we would like to thank All Arounda for our opening theme, Destruction. We would also like to thank Michet for our closing theme, Picnic in the Reactor. And this week, in honor of perhaps the best thing ever happening, something that needed to happen 4 months ago, we have found, or this time actually, Kane has found, a AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal mashup. This is by a YouTuber by the name of Rusev. It is the Phenomenal Share. Enjoy. Welcome back. I'm your boy, Common the Faded Saint. That is my boy, Kane Super What Snuka, and we don't have time. We don't have time for my obligatory joke about how much Larerell loves Chris Jericho Y2J. She is his biggest fan. He is her favorite. L2J, forever, etc.
Well, in her defense, it is now Lorelai's new Omega.
Apparently too. But we still got too much. We got to get through Survivor Series. So insert brand joke / commercial joke here. Survivor Series. Jesus, mother of Christ. Okay.
How many times did they switch title card? How much did they switch cards all around?
3 times. The Bar ended up getting the titles, so it was no longer Seth and Dean. It was the Bar versus the Usos. Charlotte won against Natty to make it Charlotte versus Alexa, and
the title for AJ.
And AJ beat Jinder going into this to make it Brock versus AJ. And again, this was another case of once you've changed these matches, god damn, these things got really interesting really quickly.
Well, people got super scared of of Jinder versus Brock.
Oh, God, that was not playing well at all. So we're going to jump right into it. And so real quickly, there was and you know the rule here. If you cannot be bothered to tell us about the match. Oh, you want to know what? We forgot about something totally in TLC. Because they didn't announce it, there was a Jason Jordan versus Elias match. Guess what? If you can't be bothered to announce the match, we can't be bothered to review it. It sucked. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes you, Jason Jordan. Go the fuck away.
Oh, no! The heel turn! It's bringing it back!
Hey! We don't have time. We don't have time. We gotta get back into this because
Okay, I'm back.
Elias and Matt Hardy, for reasons, decided to have a match. No one cares. Elias won. Matt Hardy is broken now. No. We did actually have the Cruiserweight match, which was your champion, Enzo Amore, versus Rey Mysterio Jr., a.k.a. Kalisto.
Part 7.
Didn't we just review this match like 20 minutes ago?
Can we, you know what? Editor Chris, take what we said in that match at TLC and just put it over this spot right now, and we're good.
Editor Chris, don't do that. Just you don't. You're going to watch the Wargames match. Watch that instead.
Editor Chris, give me popcorn.
Editor Chris, just do something. And you're going to be very drunk when you get this. This was everything that we said about the last match.
Totally getting popcorn later. All right.
And after this match, and Enzo won because, of course, he won. And after this, they had another unannounced match, which it hurts me actually not to have to blow through this, but we have the rules, we have the regulations, we have to abide by the rules. We have to. That's why they're there. And that was, of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Fashion Police. And the only reason why I hate blowing by this is because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are awesome.
And they're a plot twist.
But Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn over Breezango, if you can't be bothered to announce the match, we can't be bothered to review it.
Yep, simple, clean, done deal. I mean, these were all by the way, these were all pretty much squash matches. They would, even Enzo was like dominant. That's odd. Uh-oh. Really? For what?
For me realizing that they had the same match twice that we had to review.
It's okay, Editor Chris. You know what to do.
Curl up under your desk and cry.
But let's get to it, man.
Oh yeah, let's get to it. So they started out hot out the gate, didn't they? Because the first match on the pay-per-view proper was the returning actual reunion of the Shield versus the New Day. Now, the precursor to this is that if you weren't paying attention, this whole thing kicked off because AJ Styles had been lent over to Raw for the last pay-per-view. He came back and he did another thing on the night because Roman still wasn't back and faced off against The Miz and The Bar, and they won. And then that led into the SmackDown Invasion, which was one of the coolest things I've seen in wrestling all year. And the New Day were kind of at the head of that, kind of drawing traffic and kind of leading up the whole beatdown of the Raw roster.
Yep.
And when Roman came back, they took exception to this and they challenged the New Day. And then they went over to SmackDown on the one before and they just laid waste to everyone. And that brought us to this match, probably two of the most influential groups of the last 5 years. And it did not disappoint. It was just crazy insane. It was lots of hot tags. It was everything you loved about the Shield. They have not missed a beat at all. And the New Day is always awesome. And they had somebody who was actually as good as them to play off of. And all three of them could be at the ring at the same time.
And they finally provided logic to the unicorn stomp.
It did. They did.
Apparently, when you kick them in the corner, that's kind of like a submission, and you only have 5 seconds to get off them. But by tagging people in and out, it doesn't process
it resets the count.
Yeah.
It resets the count.
So there is some logic to the unicorn stomp, and that was pretty cool to discover. Of course, the big moves were the best parts. The midnight hour with the two at the same time.
Yeah, the triple, the double midnight hour, the triple power bomb, the Xavier Woods taking the pin after that, plus everyone hitting all of their moves. This was a 30-minute long match, but I do have one thing to complain about. The pay-per-view started at 7. It was 7:23 before actual wrestling started because they did entrances and packages for fucking ever. Now realize
it also said stuff too.
Now realize Survivor Series is one of the big 4, which next year I'm hearing it's going to be the big 5. Money in the Bank has graduated as we've said that it should. But that is, hey, you guys might have come in under, but that is no freaking excuse for like a freaking 20-minute start promo to your pay-per-view. Stop it, Vince McMahon. Do not make me roll up this newspaper. In fact, you know what? Do I have newspaper here? You know what? I do. Vince, you see this? You see? I will hit you on the nose with this. I will hit you on the nose. You stop it. God damn it. Pissing me off by getting the pay-per-view with a promo and video packages for 20 minutes.
Moving on.
But to the surprise of no one, there was only one way this match was going to end, and that was with the reunited Shield with their hands held high. Raw 1, SmackDown 0. Which brought us to, surprisingly early, the Raw's women's, or the Survivor Series women's match, which pitted Team Raw, which of Alicia Fox, Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, Nia Jax, Bayley, and the Boss Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, Natalya, Carmella, Tamina Snuka, and Naomi.
And this is a freshly no longer involved with WWE anymore. Carmella and
Ellsworth was let go just previous to this.
Literally the week of.
Just very quickly. There were some people out there that were kind of laughing. And whether you liked James Ellsworth or you didn't, he is a dude that lost his job. Now, granted, he was gracious in it. He really was. And he was a dude that...
He definitely yes-meant his job. You want to be the slave of a girl that pretty much made it sound like a friend zone creep.
He spent his last week and a half in WWE, basically in Europe, getting beaten up by the entire SmackDown's women's roster. And he lived his dream. And his fee for indie bookings went way up because now he's a WWE superstar. Good on you.
And a 3-time defeater of AJ Styles.
Yeah, a 3-time defeater of AJ Styles, which is 3 more times than... No, 2 more times than Finn Balor has beaten AJ Styles. But at any rate, so this match, this was the best and worst of women's wrestling. It really was. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here.
Well, we definitely had the elimination process go quick, at least at some points. But the one that was the most noticeable was Alicia Fox was supposed to kick out of the bank statement.
She was supposed to kick out of Naomi's pin, and then Naomi was supposed to put her in like the reverse rings of Saturn or whatever it was.
So she could kick out of that, but that didn't happen, and it looked weird. And there was a moment where even Naomi was confused, and I guess Sasha took the opportunity to go, you know what? Let's finish it the way she was supposed to anyway. Bank statement, tap out.
I mean, it went, Becky was pinned by Bayley first. And then Bayley
further how Bayley is pretty much a job now.
Pretty much. Like what's her name from Australia is like the new Bayley. But and then Nia Jax was counted out. And then Alicia Fox with the roll up. And then Naomi almost immediately after pinning Alicia Fox got the bank statement. Carmella fell to a roundhouse kick by Asuka. And then Sasha ended up topping out to the sharpshooter. And come on, if you guys didn't see what was going to happen the moment Asuka was put on the team, you guys haven't been paying attention to the way they've been booking Asuka, because Asuka went through Tamina and Natalya and beat them handedly because because we've got to job the entire women's division of both brands to Asuka. Yeah. And I like Asuka. But goddamn, I would have rather them not put her in the match because
or get her counted out without her getting anything involved.
At this point, they can't afford to let her lose because that's technically good. Because then you start getting into bullshit territory. But your sole survivor, Asuka, and that brings us to The Miz with Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas making his return, and Maurice at ringside versus Balding Corbin, who, as of this podcast, as of press time, still has not learned how to play tennis.
I still have to say, the only thing that I was not so comfortable with in this was the bad promos they try to push on this, the moment that, because originally wasn't that another title changeover? No. Right? This was always Baron and Miz?
Yeah, it was always Baron and Miz, but they've been pushing Sin Cara because Sin Cara sold a deal, and apparently Adidas made Sin Cara shoes. And so now he's not as much of a jobber, I guess.
Well, either way, they pretty much, the only one that stayed solid also got the least amount of promotion time between each other feuding at Survivor Series. That's why there wasn't much of a build-up for this.
They did all of their freaking promos on goddamn Twitter.
But I gotta say though, they're both heels, but they made Baron a freaking face for this match because he had to go through Bo Dallas. He had to go through even.
Did he? Because I just didn't like this match. I mean, it was all right, but
no, it wasn't the best match. I mean, the Miz. Let's face it, Miz makes, just like AJ Styles, the Miz makes anyone look fantastic when it comes to losing again. When it comes to him losing to them,
he does.
And he's designed to be that really perfect chicken shit heel that also in a way still fights. He tries to get a lot of outs out of the way so he can try to win easier. And he also had 3 people doing that for him, and he still couldn't get that past Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin also needed that win. If he didn't have that win, then he would have been dead in the water as a U.S. champion.
I agree 100%. And the U.S. Championship needed it more than the Intercontinental Championship, especially when you consider that the Intercontinental Championship was going to Roman on Monday.
Very much. And apparently he's went to go off to do the Marine 5.
The Marine 6.
17. Moving forward.
32. But, I mean, it was what it was. It was better than the main event, but we'll get to that. But coming up next was The Bar versus the Usos. And, I mean,
this was actually the best match. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go. No.
Second best.
Okay. All right. Listen, the reason why I'm not saying, I don't count the Brock match at all.
Why?
Because it's its own, it's like watching 2 giants in the middle of Tokyo just destroying everything around them, and everyone's just watching.
How big do you think AJ Styles really is?
He doesn't have to be big to do this.
He's 5'2". He has little stubby legs, and then those are actually stilts on there.
People that are just as big as giants at this point.
This match delivered. I don't know if Rollins and Ambrose would have delivered better than this match, but I mean, I get why they pulled Rollins and Ambrose, because the Shield versus New Day was fire.
And again, the Usos needed this win.
Again, well, SmackDown needed this win because the whole thing was that they were keeping count throughout the night. And this was a great match, and there was a lot of, it was the rough and really athletic stuff that you expect to see from Sheamus and Cesaro. It was the Usos proving that their day one is H the entire time. And it was competitive. It was great, but ultimately, first of all, Michael Cole, and let's get something else out of the way that we've kind of been avoiding. WWE 5-person booth, really. They were talking over each other. I have to be quite honest with you. I could not tell the difference between Byron Saxton, Tom Phillips, and Michael Cole.
This is true. I mean, if Booker T didn't have that raspy voice,
and Corey is Corey, and also
Corey was also the freaking MVP of the whole table.
I would also like to point out that Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips wore blue ties. Corey Graves was wearing a goddamn purple suit. Booker T, Michael Cole, could you not be bothered to at least throw on a red tie to make everything work as synergy? Yeah, could not.
Zero fucks.
Zero fucks were given. And we see you.
Hashtag Michael Cole, please retire.
Goddamn.
You are not JR. You're not the king. Retire.
But this match was one of the best ones of the night. Your mileage may vary if you think it's best or not.
I still think this was match of the night. It was solid. It was crisp when it comes to the tag in, tag outs. The hot tags were definitely there, and the match ended perfectly with the Usos and how they delivered it. I felt this was one of the solids.
Also, by the way, Super Kick Party, you're going to get a cease and desist, WWE, because that's been trademarked by the Young Bucks. I'm just saying, you don't want them using the too sweet.
Well, they already tried to make it Raw already.
Moving on, that brings us to the women's champion versus champion. Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair. Charlotte won.
Who thought Alexa was going to win? That was the whole point. I mean, this was one of those situations where I felt like in God's green earth, they're going to make the Nature Boy's daughter lose to Alexa Bliss. That ain't going to even come close to even thought of.
The moment she won the match against Natty, which hats off to Natty. At the end of that match, she made that match where she was like in the figure eight and she was trying not to, and then she just screamed no and she tapped out because she knew that her opportunity was slipping through her fingers. But god damn.
I mean, that's why Alexa Bliss is an iconic character when it comes to people liking her. Because I'm going to say it right now, if everyone didn't like Alexa Bliss like they thought the way of Jinder Mahal, they would probably have the same outrage about Alexa versus Charlotte as the match coming up for the Survivor Series.
Alexa's a great talker as long as
she's fantastic talker, and she's not bad at matches. It's just there's no way you're going to outmatch Charlotte. That's the only thing.
No, you're not.
As a matter of fact, I would love to see Asuka versus Charlotte because that sounds like something that you can't really flip a coin to.
Okay, stop. WWE. This is your WrestleMania match with as many of these WrestleMania matches as you've given off in the past year. Joe and Brock, AJ and Finn, Brock and Strowman.
AJ Styles and Brock.
Roman and John Cena. I'll admit it. Asuka and Charlotte is a WrestleMania caliber match. Do not put this on a B show. Or I'm going to get the newspaper and I'm going to come over there and I'm going to hit you in the nose. In case you haven't forgotten, because I haven't brought it up. I'm the heel that runs this deal. Stop it. I'm not going to get worked up like I did last time when I was talking about Enzo when I nearly gave myself a heart attack. I'm not going to do it. I'm cool. I've got a beer right here. I've got a beer. I'm not going to get worked up. My doctor says I can't take it anymore. You need to stop. We're cool. We're calm. Charlotte and Asuka, WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be this WrestleMania. It can be the next WrestleMania. It can be down the road. But you need to stop. And with that said, Charlotte over Alexa Bliss. You okay over there? Are you okay? Apparently he needs a minute, which is fine. But
oh my god, I had to put myself on mute because I was going to die laughing. Because you see, you only get the right now. You're just seeing Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss on the screen, but you got to see how Comedy the Faded Saint right now is looking as if he's talking to like his youngest child. Like, if we go to this store and you break something, I will have to kill you.
Did you see all these people? All of these people are looking at you and wondering why you can't be a good child.
Either way, he was very serious. I was behind that message. It's the way he was delivered.
Which brought us to the match that was saved. The face that runs this place saved this match, because this match would have been shite had Jinder had made it all the way here. And of course, we are talking about the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
You know what?
Now,
Twitter, hashtag AJ make me $1 million. That is all the way. That AJ Styles, no matter who he versus, what he does, and where he goes, makes everyone look
like $1 million. And this was no different. Brock loves AJ.
Oh yeah,
Brock loves AJ a lot because AJ sold, and AJ, everything that he did, there were portions where it's like, well, of course this is Brock versus AJ. Of course Brock's just going to do it. But then the match got past the 10-minute mark, and AJ started throwing some offense, and it was pretty good. And then he started getting some more, and then Brock would like do stuff, and then AJ would come going back, and it just built, and it built, and it built, right up until when AJ got him in the calf crusher. And oh my God, he was in that calf crusher for so long.
Tell me how cool that was.
So long. Like Paul freaking out. And Brock freaking out.
That's my point. But tell me how cool that was. That during that calf crusher, that he did, instead of breaking out of it and instead of trying to roll away to the ropes, he decides to use his pure strength to smash AJ Styles into the mat with his.
Oh my God, that was so brutal. It was like he couldn't get out, and he was in. It felt like he was in there for hours, as long as he had the calf crusher on, and then finally Brock just going, Brock hate calf crusher! Smash, 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 smash!
I thought I was watching Thor Ragnarok right there, because that was definitely Battle Zone Hulk versus Thor.
Like, as usual, I was watching with Veston and Mims, and I was like, oh, God damn! Oh, God damn! Oh! And it just like, I mean, the ending was predictable. Brock won, because of course Brock won, because the F5
is the most... I predicted the finisher, too, and that was him trying to go for the phenomenal forearm into the F5. Well, that's why I don't consider it my match of the night.
Fair enough, but god damn, this match was so much better than what it would have been if Jinder had made it into it.
I don't even know how they would do Jinder, because the only thing I can think of is the Singh brothers being literally nothing after that. Because imagine remember what Randy Orton did to one of them, almost destroyed their neck. When he threw him across the table and he landed neck first, I was like Brock Lesnar not even giving them a moment to think that they were going to be human beings after that match, because he would just destroyed them.
Well, yeah. We're avoiding, right?
But it was so good that it was a really good match, and Brock. Right. You know what I liked about it is it didn't feel like it was the formula. Like the formula of all the other ones. Like when it comes to him losing to Braun, losing to him, from Samoa Joe losing to him, where even though it was one F5, it was an F5 that was going impact.
It was 1,000 times better than the Joe and Strowman match, which were practically the same matches. Although I still hold a huge bit of disdain for making the F5 this killer. This one shot killer.
At this time, it is now considered the most protected finisher in WWE right now.
I agree. I'm avoiding this last match, right?
I noticed. Do not bring up the words Jason Jordan.
I'm not. He didn't show up, but Everything was going good. Everything was going good until, of course, and for those of you who are paying attention, weirdly, it ended up being 3 for 3, Raw and SmackDown tied, with this last match deciding brand dominance. And of course, we are talking about the Men's Survivor Series 5-man elimination match. It was on the team of SmackDown, glorious Bobby Roode versus the Viper Randy Orton with I'm sorry, not versus, but with the Viper Randy Orton with John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Shane O'Mac versus Team Raw, Kurt Angle, Triple H, somebody call Arby's because Samoa Joe's got the meats, Finn Balor, and Braun.
I had to say, Raw had the lesser old people talent, though.
Let me. You know what? You're gonna have to do this because I'm gonna lose my shit if I have to start talking about this. You're gonna have to start off.
Well, I could say this much. Fuck this match. First of all, Braun Strowman, why? Why were you even involved? Why did you even get through the table just to get to the end of the back into the line and just watch Triple H win the match? Why? What in God's green earth did that make any accomplishments? And did anyone not notice that 4 of the people in that match, 4 of them have been almost in at least a decade already or longer in Survivor Series investments. Triple H, Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, Shane McMahon, and John Cena. Five of them. That is,
what?
Literally, if they just took Triple H and they took Kurt Angle, swapped it out with Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode, it could have been old people versus new people. It's unreal. It's unreal how they did this. And I want to know why Triple H. Why Triple H replaced Jason Jordan? What benefit happened here? Is that because we're trying to build up the Triple H Kurt Angle WrestleMania stick or the Royal Rumble stick? Because I have no idea, because now he's got 2 feuds. He's got Triple H. Stay retired.
Damn it.
Retired.
The first fucking 5 eliminations. The first 5 of fucking elimination. Shinsuke, Roode, Joe, Cena, Balor. All of your young talent that you were supposed to be building up in this match are gone in the first half of the match. Literally, it was 4 old guys and Braun at one point in this match. How do you pin Shinsuke Nakamura first? How do you pin Bobby Roode second? God, how do you freaking get Samoa Joe and Finn Balor as the first 2 Raw eliminations? What the fuck was that ending with Triple H and Kurt Angle? What was the point of it all? It ruined the entire goddamn pay-per-view.
Should have saved that last beer.
God damn. You know what this match was? There was only one person that was supposed to get over in this match. And that was Braun. Which, fine. You want to get Braun over? Groovy. Because,
and everyone's on board with that, by the way.
But
everyone's on board.
There was no reason. There was no point. Why have Shinsuke in the match? Why have Roode in the match? Why have Finn and Joe in the match? Let them go off and do something else. Let them go off and have an amazing match by themselves.
You're right, though. You're not even wrong.
Why? And goddamn, can we just talk for a second about how absolutely useless John Cena was? Like, he did practically nothing and he got pinned. Can we talk about how Kurt Angle was basically immobile for most of the match?
Or how the same Kurt Angle, 1 angle slam, wins the match on John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he's like had like his entire leg wrapped. And like freaking Triple H, pedigree to the mountain or whatever. And god damn, like that whole, I mean, yay, Sammy and Kevin walked out and they screwed over Team SmackDown. So continuity. But Jesus Christ, this match was so bad.
Especially
so bad.
Pedigree Kurt Angle, just so Shane McMahon can pin him and then fucking do the pedigree to Shane McMahon just to win and have Braun stare. Braun's face was everybody's face, by the way.
It was like, what is happening? Like
What did I just watch? Why did I watch it? Why did you let me watch it? I could have killed everybody. That was literally what he could have said. I could have killed everybody. You could have just tagged me in, everyone dead. But no. I'm going to sit here and watch you do something you do 20 years ago? Because that's literally what Triple H was. He was
and this was the problem with it. The match was an entire build up to the after antics, which was Triple H like, "Hey, we won. No, it's okay, we won." And then Braun just like grabbing him by the throat. It's like, if you fuck with me again, you're gonna pay. And then he lets him go, and he goes to leave. And then Triple is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you now." And then of course Braun power slams him, and Braun, and he walks out. Which, again, I'm fine with getting Braun over. I'm happy. Braun is...
Not the expense of Finn Balor or Samoa Joe, though. But not the expense of those two guys.
Goddamn, you tanked this entire match for that.
And Shinsuke Nakamura, the man who practically went through everybody in NXT.
They don't know. They do not know how to freaking book him at this point. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you fuck up Shinsuke Nakamura?
Think at this point we should get rid of all the titles too, because these titles don't do shit anybody. There's no motivation to go for the world title on Raw. There's no motivation to
Universal title on Raw.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But even so, there's no point of going after any of these belts because they're not proving any worth. Well, either add more belts or take them all away.
The problem is that the Universal title is never around because it's on Brock. And Brock can only be, bothered to show up once every, 3 months or so. The world title, whatever you say about Jinder, at least he was defending at every pay-per-view that he was available for. The Intercontinental title definitely has some worth, and Miz has done that. The U.S. title, take it or leave it. The SmackDown and Raw tag titles, definitely keep those. And again, Alexa has defended on every single show. At least SmackDown has gotten out of this trend of we're going to have a pay-per-view match to have a contender, and then we're going to have a match like at the next major pay-per-view, which was god-awful. That's how you ended up with Naomi not defending for her title for 3 months and shit. But it's stupid. But in the end, Team Raw over Team SmackDown and winning the night's dominance. And that was the end of Survivor Series. You know me. You know how this is probably about to go. And I wanted to like Survivor Series. We were both talking about Survivor Series and how much we were enjoying it up until that last match.
And you know what? I have to say this before you do a great thing. You could definitely tell this was a Vince-made match.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's all about the flash and flare, the drama. It wasn't about the good match. It wasn't about getting the people that need to be get over right. This was all, we want to make you sound like you're watching a soap opera.
Pretty much, and it failed miserably. What was a great pay-per-view was defeated in the final snatch. What do you think?
This is a tough call because you're right. There was really good matches between Brock and Charlotte and the Usos. They were all good ones.
Normally I have a rule.
You know what? I know.
Normally I have a rule that the last match is worth a letter grade.
I don't know. I'm going to give this a B. No plus, no minus, just a B. Because the pay-per-view itself was still solid. And at least they did give Braun Strowman the make Roman strong appearance in that situation. So
he pinned Shinsuke, Bobby, and Randy.
Yeah.
See, that last match was bad enough to warrant 2 letter grades being dropped. It really was. You take that last match off, and it's an A. You end it with AJ Brock, it's an A. With that as the last match.
That's also a good thing. Why didn't they? If they switched roles and they made the Brock AJ match the last match of the night,
it would have been the same. It would have been the same end to it because Raw won the last 2 matches. So why not put the emphasis on the title? The champ goes last.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's all it really would have taken. Just weapon those matches.
Well, that's a good question for you. That's a good question for you. If the champ goes last, which champ comes out first then?
Brock.
Really?
The Universal title is a joke. Brock has made it a joke. He doesn't defend it. It's not a title.
Actually, if there was no Monday Night Raw televised every Monday and SmackDown televised every Tuesday, to be honest, I think that the Universal title would technically hold more merit in the sense of how the paradigm of how the belt in general should be, and that is rarely seen and fought. And when it was fought with great standings of why you need to deserve that match. I mean, look at the old school wrestling days.
I completely disagree. Because the Universal title was created out of thin air. The world title.
Well, they had to.
Yeah, well, the world title is the one with all the lineage, A. And B, Ric Flair got his 16, more likely than not more, but 16 official title reigns, honestly, by defending that title every night in house shows and everywhere around the world.
But I'd rather have a match where you're not sure if they're going to win versus knowing that no matter how many times he defends the title, he's going to win it no matter what. How is
that different from what Brock does now?
Because
we all know who Brock's dropping that title to.
Well, let's face it. You've done it before. You falsely second guess yourself on if Brock was going to win or not with Samoa Joe, for example. And then you did that with AJ. There are situations where you will think Brock Lesnar will not come out of this.
But with AJ, the title wasn't on the line. The moment it was SmackDown 3, Raw 2, it's like, well, Brock's winning. And that's what it was. Because Brock is, for whatever reason, protected beyond all belief. And he's a part-timer that's protected beyond all belief. He's allowed to hold a title, which is a joke, how long he's had this title.
I think I don't like him for one major reason, and that is he doesn't have to take the wellness policy like everyone else.
Yep, that's part of his contract. And again, that's the problem. He does not have the same rules as everyone else, and he absolutely should, especially since he's their champion. So the Universal Champion and Championship is a joke, and until you get somebody, even Roman, who is regularly defending it and actually putting forth it, that's it, you know? Your title needs to be visible. That's the reason why your freaking ratings are slipping every Monday.
But recently, Raw's been a lot better than SmackDown, though.
Yeah, well, anything is better when your headliner is Jinder Mahal. Regardless. And so that will bring us to the end of this long podcast. Thank you for staying with us for this long. This is going to be a colossal one. This is going to be getting close to the 2-hour mark. But next time, WWE's cut down some stuff, so we're not going to be doing head-to-heads anymore. Or I don't know, maybe we will, depending on how stuff goes. Tentatively, we are going to be discussing how we're going to be going forward with the podcast, since we only do it with every pay-per-view. Because the next pay-per-view is Clash of Champions, and that's going to be the last one for the year. Followed by the Royal Rumble, Fastlane, and then WrestleMania. Or maybe there's one in
Rebo-sama.
Maybe there's another one somewhere in there. But so we're not sure how the schedule is going to go moving forward. We're not sure how it's going to be moving forward. But we will be back. Keep your eye on social media. Keep your eye on my Facebook if you are one of these. And, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to ask us a question, or if you'd like to come up to just generally interact, I am at Faded Saint on the Twitter. I am also kamizite.tumblr.com if you would like to ask me a question or send me a message. I am more than happy to answer any of you. We have a Discord that will be down in the description below. And also, we would like to thank Rusev for the mashup today. We would like to thank our friend Michet for the closing theme, Picnic in the Reactor, that you're going to be hearing. We'd like to thank All Arounda for Destruction, our opening theme. And, well, I'm not sure when you're going to see us, but you will see us sometime soon. Have you got anything else to say, Kane?
Fuck that Survivor Series man standing match.
Fuck it hard. At any rate, so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy, Carmen the Faded Saint. That is my boy, Kane Super. What? Snooker saying we will see you on the next podcast.
Later, folks.